Important point. You are not covered for any driving activity on campus, only when you are in the course and scope of achieving organizational objectives. Many departments depend on carts for everyday use. The benefits are obvious. They are convenient, relatively inexpensive, and durable. They can be modified for their intended use, and they can access areas on campus impassable for other vehicles. But carts are also the most dangerous vehicles operated on campus. In fact, of all the recordable injuries resulting from university vehicle accidents from FY03 through FY09, 100% of them involved motorized carts. Georgia law is vague when it defines the parameters in which carts may be operated on the public roads. In accordance with Title 40 of the Georgia Code, carts may be operated by licensed drivers on roads with speed limits less than 35 miles per hour and only during daylight hours. Since most streets on campus are public roads, you are responsible for obeying all traffic laws. An exception to the daylight hours law is low-speed vehicles, which may be operated on public roads at night. The only low-speed vehicles on our campus are the GEM cars. Statistically, university motorized carts have the same accident rates as other vehicles. Because of their low speeds and rugged design, there's a lower than average percentage of vehicle damage claims. However, they have a higher proportion of at-fault accidents, liability claims, and injuries. The best way to show this is with side-by-side examples. For all accidents involving vehicles other than carts, 61% were determined to be the fault of the university employee. However, for cart accidents, 71% were determined to be at fault. Only about 1 in 100 university vehicle accidents results in a workers' compensation claim. In carts, this ratio is 1 in 5. Full-time employees were at fault in 57% of cart accidents, while students were at fault in 100% of their accidents. We will discuss why carts are more dangerous in the next section. There are 3 reasons why motorized carts represent the overwhelming proportion to our vehicle-related injuries. These reasons are the perception of motorized carts, the use of motorized carts, and the standards of motorized cart engineering. Let's talk about these one at a time. First of all, we tend to perceive carts as a relatively low-risk mode of transportation. They are small, slow, and easy to operate. They're also fun to drive and are not confined to the roads. We're more inclined to permit students to drive carts than we would be to hand them the keys to a pickup truck or a sedan. It's not very often when we enter a golf cart and think, I am now about to drive the most dangerous vehicle in the university fleet. Another perception is that the cart has similar braking and steering responses as their own car. It does not. The second reason why carts are risky is how we use them. The entire campus becomes our road, and we forget that unlike our engineered streets, there are no safety standards designed into the campus for cart usage. But the most important reason why motorized carts are dangerous is because they are simply not designed for safety. They're designed for utility. Consider the vehicle that you typically drive to work. There are federal standards that ensure that this vehicle is engineered with a high regard for driver and occupant safety. There are preventative engineering features that reduce your chances of getting into an accident, such as specific weights and centers of gravity, headlights, turn signals, and brake lights, mirrors, windshields, windshield wipers and defrosters, ergonomic controls, and braking, steering, and rollover standards. In this same vehicle, there are also engineering standards that will reduce your chances of being injured or killed if you are involved in an accident. These include airbags and seat belts, bumper systems, crumple zones, engine hinges, safety cells, and roll cages, and safety glass and padded interiors. What is a motorized cart required to have? Nothing. With the exception of low-speed vehicles, motorized carts are designed to be operated off-roads and are not subject to highway safety standards. In fact, because of their off-road intent, motorized carts typically have a higher ground clearance and therefore have a higher center of gravity. This affects steering, braking, and rollover propensity. Additionally, since carts are made for off-road utility operations, they are more rugged than a typical sedan. With no crumple zones or other engineering features that absorb the energy of an impact, the vehicle will stop more abruptly, sending the driver and occupants forward. And without seatbelts, inertia will propel these occupants forward against the steering wheel, windshield, or other obstacles. There have been several injuries that wouldn't have been sustained if carts had been equipped with seatbelts. In 2006, a student worker had to receive plastic surgery on his face to repair the damage when he lost control of the cart and hit a guardrail. And in 2008, another student worker broke her front teeth against the windshield of a cart that hit a light pole after only traveling a few feet. Safety starts before you even begin driving. There is no substitute for practical experience. Learn the controls before you take the wheel. Practice in a safe location so you can get the feel of the vehicle, including acceleration, braking, steering, and turning radius. Learn to operate the throttle and brake to avoid jerky starts and stops. Additionally, you should read the manual, paying particular attention to load limits. This information should also be located on the vehicle itself. Once you're familiar with the controls and limitations of the cart, you're ready to operate it on campus. You can reduce your chances of injury by starting out each and every time with a posture of safety. If you simply remind yourself that this may be the day that you're involved in an accident, you will be more prone to stay focused on what you're doing. Make sure your windshield is clean and your mirrors are adjusted. Know where you're going and how you intend to get there. When starting out, you should look around for any persons or obstructions. Avoid jerky starts that may allow you to lose control of the vehicle. Once you're underway, stay at a safe speed, giving plenty of space between yourself and the driver in front of you. Always look in the direction of travel. Be aware of your surroundings and keep both hands on the steering wheel. Use good judgment when operating the cart. Keep your body parts in the vehicle. Reduce your distractions by refraining from eating or drinking while the cart is in motion. Don't engage in any horseplay. And above all, stay focused on what you're doing. If you have the choice between driving on the street or sidewalk, you should choose to drive on the street. However, if you find you have to operate the cart on the campus at night, you should drive on the sidewalk. Always approach turns and ramps with caution and maintain a safe speed. Do the same on wet surfaces and near pedestrians. If you come to a blind corner, slow down to a crawl and tap your horn. As you navigate the campus, please remember that pedestrians have the right of way, and be aware that although you may see pedestrians and other vehicles, they may not see you. When parking a vehicle, you should come to a complete stop before getting out. Avoid heavily accessed areas where you may impede the pedestrian traffic flow, especially around building exits. You may park temporarily on sidewalks, but provide enough space for a wheelchair to negotiate around your cart. Avoid parking on inclines unless you chalk your vehicle, or pick a spot where a natural obstruction would stop the cart. Failed parking brakes have resulted in an average of one liability claim every year. Finally, you should remember to report any concerns or unsafe conditions to your supervisor. We have damaged property and injured people simply because we have failed to report issues such as faulty brakes and steering flaws. Finally, a word about the insurance that covers you for injuries while you're driving. or workers' compensation. You are covered for injuries and illnesses that arise out of the course of your employment, but the same parameters are in effect. If you are injured while you are driving or performing a task that is outside the course of your employment, you may not be covered. We would welcome your feedback on this training module. If you have any suggestion, comment, or criticism, please call, email, or stop by the Office of Risk Management, Environmental Health and Safety. This concludes the training. On behalf of the Office of Risk Management and the University of West Georgia, I'd like to thank you for your participation and to thank you for all your efforts in keeping our community safe.